What's up, All Eyes DB Camp fans? All right, I got another breakdown for you guys this week, but before we jump into all that, I got a special guest that's over here just causing the shadow. Yeah, the mad shoe thrower is in the house. That's my son, Marco Wilson. Hopefully I'll do one of these breakdowns for him next week, next year, something like that. But anyway, talking about what we got this week. Carlton Davis versus Davante Adams. Hey, man, you're in the way. You're bringing that shadow on me. All right, that's what we got this week. Davante Adams, another week, another big one. And he's taking on Carlton Davis. Before I jump into that, though, you guys got to do me a little favor. First of all, subscribe to my channel. If you haven't done that already, I'm severely disappointed in you as a person. Hit that subscribe button immediately, if not sooner. Go ahead and like this video. Share it with one of your DB friends, especially somebody who's getting took up top on a regular basis. They might learn something here. But anyway, we're jumping into this breakdown between these two. Hey, in the early going of this thing, it was oddly similar to the Jalen Ramsey versus Davante Adams breakdown. The Packers were out there scheming around. Then they decided to go ahead and put Davante Adams on that island with Carlton Davis. Very, very interesting stuff. And I think you guys are going to find it very, very interesting. Also, if you are a defensive back watching this, not just a fan, because, I understand some fans are watching this also. But if you are a defensive back, do yourself a favor. Go ahead right now and click the link in the bio. Go join my members area. It's the best investment you'll ever make in yourself. If you're not in the South Florida area, and even if you are and you can't make it out to my sessions, it's the next best thing, and you can raise your game to the next level. However, all right, aside from all that, let's jump into, right now, this matchup and breakdown in the NFC Championship game between Davante Adams and Carlton Davis. Enjoy.
Pray for your son, cause mama, you had Jewish. For this, they standing in this cold rain.
What's up, All Eyes DB Camp fans? Back at you with another breakdown this week, NFC Championship game. Green Bay Packers versus Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Carlton Davis versus Davante Adams. Another week for Davante Adams, another game against a top-notch cornerback. Carlton Davis had a strong season this year. He's going to actually be the one continuing on to play and live another day. It's 31-26, your final. Buccaneers advance over the Packers. Didn't really see that coming. I had the Pack winning this one, but why would anyone underestimate Tom Brady? I did that. 20 years in the league, 10 Super Bowl appearances. This time he makes it with another team. But it's not about Tom Brady here. It is about the Packers. Wide receiver Davante Adams against Carlton Davis. So let's just jump into the action right here. What I noticed early on in the game is that it looked like it was going to be similar to the Packers' game plan against Jalen Ramsey and the Los Angeles Rams. It looked like early on the Packers were going to go about scheming Adams into openings without facing the real one-on-one island matchups, as I like to call it. And this is a bit of it right here. Right now, and this is probably something that these two guys check to because Adams and Rodgers have really good chemistry. But here we have Carlton Davis right here playing, about 5 or 6 yards off the ball, which in normal circumstances is not a big deal. But Adams happens to have a tight split towards the formation here, so that allows Rodgers to get out, get the ball into his hands quick, and you're going to see it pays dividends here. Catch, stiff arm, gets down the field, picks up a good 15 yards on this particular play. And so it works out for the Packers here. But again, not a traditional matchup, not something down the field, not what we're used to seeing when we're talking about one-on-one matchups. But you get it to a guy who's nifty, both with his feet and with his hands, as you can see as he gets the stiff arm on Davis, and it's a quick, like I said, 15-yard pickup. All right, so moving on. We get another situation where we've got condensed blitz, and it's not necessarily out on the island, and the Packers find a way to drop a ball in there to Davante Adams. Okay, a tight split. This looks like some kind of zone, and the Packers know that in some occasions when you do get tight splits like this, it's difficult for the defense to run man, so they line up in this type of a formation here. Perhaps you can get the defense to check to some kind of zone, and that appears to be what they're running here. So in doing so, you get a skilled wide receiver with knowledge like Adams to go sit down right here, pick up a quick, easy 5 yards on first down, and makes it a manageable second down situation. So again, we've avoided an island matchup. Now we get down here near the goal line, and we get a traditional island matchup. And that is down in the red zone. We've got Carlton Davis right here. We've got Davante Adams right here. And listen, I just knew that this ball was going to Adams. The thing you had to figure out here was this going to be the slant, or was this going to be the fade ball? This split right here, which is kind of tight to the formation, tells me fade ball. It tells me that Adams wants to get into this area right here. No one's better at throwing a back shoulder fade than one Aaron Rodgers. No one's better at getting the separation and then spinning around to catch that ball on the back hip shoulder than Davante Adams. Everything about this formation said we were going to get the back shoulder, and indeed we did. What didn't happen was a completion, and these two guys rarely ever miss on this kind of play right here. Number one, Adams got the separation that you need to get on this particular play, and he's skilled at doing that. But one of the reasons that he did get it, as we're going to see in the matchup, in the replay, is Carlton Davis played the slant. All right, it just really looked like he got on his heels here a little bit, but he was expecting the slant. And that is just a tremendous amount of separation right here. This is not what you want down on the red zone. Tremendous amount of separation. Thank goodness for Davis and the Bucs that this was a miss. And I'm telling you, it's rare that this happens. To be honest, I think, given the separation that Adams had, Rodgers could have made a better throw in this particular case. He could just throw the ball at his eyes, but he's just so used to throwing it back hip. I think with such separation, Adams was probably expecting it more towards his eyes and not so much out here, which he has been able to make that catch in the past. But if you're not expecting it, it's a difficult catch to make, especially the way Rodgers throws it, which has a little bit of heat on it. So I think the ball was not where Adams expected it to be. Zipped too hard outside on him, and he ended up careening off his hands. Lucky for Carlton Davis. So the first real island matchup that he gets with a ball coming to him, Davis wins by default because Rodgers and Adams couldn't make the hookup, and there was definitely enough space there for it. Now, still down here in the red zone. Now we've got an island matchup, so to speak, but it's happening in the slot. So this is different than what we saw with the Rams versus Adams and the Packers. Ramsey wouldn't go in the slot. Davis feels free doing that. Todd Bowles, the defensive coordinator for the Bucs, has confidence in not only having Carlton Davis shadow the top receivers every week, but also go in the slot to do so. And so we get that here. And rather than just a straight-up one-on-one route, we get a rub concept, which the Packers, as if you follow them at all, are well-versed in doing. This is not abnormal for them to do some kind of a rub concept. So we're watching Adams here versus Davis. It's going to be a bit of a rub. It's going to take Davis off of it. It's going to get some separation, and this is wide open. But again, as fate would have it, all right, the rabbit foot was in Davis's pocket early. We got the ball batted down by Ndamukong Suh because this was going to be a completion. I don't think it would have been a touchdown. I'm going to assume that Davis would have been able to wrap Adams up and get him out of bounds here, but sometimes those linemen get their hands up and save you from impending danger. Or was it 54? Thought it was Suh on this. No, it was 54, getting his hand in there, knocking it down. But here's on the replay, we're seeing the separation. Now, normally, when we get the outside guy going underneath the inside guy, the route is for him. It's to get this guy right here open. But we end up with Adams going over the top, this receiver coming underneath, and then Adams ends up being the guy that gets the separation and the ball thrown to him. But as I said, ball gets knocked down, and Davante Adams is majorly pissed that he couldn't get it done. All right, so it was a little bit of that going on. during the game. And so, to me, it looked like the Packers were going to go the route of trying to scheme Adams open and not find too many matchups where you just got out there on Carlton Davis and just tried to beat him straight up. Now, again, I'm not mad at the Packers for that. Matt LaFleur is a guy who's a very good offensive mind. You've got a good quarterback. You've got a smart wide receiver who doesn't have a huge ego and will buy into that. And so he did. And, we didn't get as much of that early on. But then as the game started to wear on, and perhaps it had something to do with the Packers being behind and really just starting to get some balls up in the air, they decided to start challenging Davis a little more, and it wound up with a win down here. This is later on in the game, fourth quarter action. Adams one-on-one. Now, as we can see, if you guys can remember what we had earlier on when Adams was lined up down in the red zone versus Carlton Davis, he was a little tighter to the formation, okay? And this is where you guys got to pay attention to splits, but he's a little wider in this split here than he was in the other one earlier on in the game where they tried to hit the back shoulder fade on him. A little less room out here for Adams to work on a back shoulder fade or even just a ball to the corner of the end zone. He's a little wider here, which might suggest we're going to get this action here. And what would even help that more is there is no safety here. There's no one helping inside, so that's even more of an incentive for Aaron Rodgers to try and hit a ball in this area as opposed to hitting one out here. And that's exactly what we get. And it winds up being a touchdown for the Packers. And again, Adams gave his patented basketball move at the line of scrimmage. Unfortunately for Davis, eyes were high, bit on the hard shoulder move, sent him outside, as I think Davis was playing the fade, which is what he got last time. Now, you remember, on the fade, Adams got pretty serious separation against Davis, and that might have been playing in Davis's mind coming up here. I don't want to give up that back shoulder fade like I did before, so let me play for that. And then he ends up getting the inside move. But watch, eyes are high. He overreacts to that shoulder move, sends him outside. And as typical when a defensive back's eyes are high and he gets fooled, now you're asking the hands to do the work. See where his body is? See where the hands are? He's asking his hands to do all the work, and that's typical when your eyes are high. Excuse me there a little minute. So he's beat on this inside move because the eyes are high. He's asking the hands to do the work. They can't. Adams gets the hands off, and easy touchdown going inside here. Aaron Rodgers is going to complete this ball 10.5 times out of 10. And so they complete it here for the touchdown. At the end of the day, the numbers for Adams look similar to what they were versus Ramsey. I think it was 10 for 66, if I'm not mistaken, versus Ramsey the week before. That was good enough for the Packers to win. I think it was 10 for 66 and a touchdown versus the Rams. This week, 9 for 67. That's as similar as it gets. And again, a touchdown, that one you just saw, for Davante Adams. However, this was not good enough to get them by Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. So, yeah, the game plan was similar, at least early on, to get Adams open, and it was working a little bit. But then, what they did end up missing in this game that they needed, the Packers I'm talking about, are the shots downfield that is typical from Rodgers and Adams. We didn't get the go balls. We didn't get the post routes. We didn't get those type of big plays that it seemed the Packers needed. They needed those chunk plays down the field. They weren't able to get them, whether it's by scheme or just not feeling like they were going to be able to get those versus someone like Carlton Davis. And I think the Packers are going to have to spend an entire offseason thinking about what they did there. Did they do the right thing, and did they do the right thing by Adams? Did they put enough trust in Adams winning those one-on-one island matchups and give themselves a chance to get some chunk plays and get back in the game, because they found themselves way down at halftime and they were fighting back, and it would have been nice to have been able to get those plays down the field. So that's just something for them to think about. On this play, this involved Davis. This was not his best game ever. Definitely he's played better games this season and throughout his career. But I will say that about this play, this particular play right here. Oh no, here's another play. I'm sorry. This one was, I think, later on in the game, as the Packers were trying to drive. And this is Adams in the slot versus Davis, who I said, unlike Ramsey, would travel and go play in the slot. So kudos to him for being able to do that. But on this particular play, he gets beat. Again, falling for that hard outside move. You know, Davante Adams has some great feet. Playing basketball did him well. Falling for that hard outside move, being able to get some great separation here and getting the ball completed. And again, beats Davis on this particular play. So I think after looking at this, not the best play for Davis. And again, my eyes might have been high. Got totally fooled by this hard turn. Didn't have much patience on that. I think if the Packers go back and look, I think they would, you know, perhaps curse themselves and say, you know what, I think we had a better shot of going after Davis maybe and trying our hand at the island matchups. Maybe we've had a little more success, or maybe they would have thrown an interception. But I'm pretty sure the Packers, you know, several days after losing, are probably thinking they should have tried their hand at more traditional island matchups down the field and seeing if they could find their way against Davis. There was another play in this game, which was the touchdown to Marquez Valdez-Scantling versus Carlton Davis. That's not a part of this video. I do have a breakdown of that in my All Eyes DB Camp members area. You should definitely take a look at it. It portrays a lot of what I see happening with cornerbacks at all levels, the mistakes that they make sometimes in playing press versus the go ball. So if you are a cornerback that plays outside, this is definitely a video that you need to see. It's one of over hundreds of videos that I do have in the All Eyes DB Camp members area. If you have not joined that yet, it is a very worthwhile investment for you. There are guys all over the country right now, coaches and players, that are using this to up their level of play, up their level of coaching, get the knowledge, and just boost their abilities and play out there on the field. So definitely something for you to invest in. I have a link to that in the bio. Definitely check it out and go ahead and make that move. All right, and then once again, guys, you enjoyed this video, like the video, share the video, and by all means subscribe. You definitely need to be a subscriber to this channel. So much great information for you as well as others. So share this with others and become a subscriber to this channel now. All right, thank you guys for listening. Until next time, All Eyes DB Camp. Consistency breeds results.